Well, I'm in therapy right now for the first time that I'm really like actively excited about therapy. I like
High
look
five.
forward to it.
Everyone
Yeah,
should be in therapy
it's so
forever,
cool.
forever.
For me, a relationship is what catalyzed the necessity of said therapy and
Okay.
the reflection of how disconnected from all of myself that I've been,
Hmm.
largely like
Hmm.
childhood bits, self-abandoning, I guess I could say, and a lot of like young boy, even like baby statues of myself within myself, where it's kind of like frozen.
Like vision of your inner child is like very statuesque, like little boy.
Yeah, well, the statues in the sense that
Like,
it's like aspects of myself frozen in time because at some
mm,
point in time I didn't have the resources or the capacity to address it. And I think that's the definition of trauma. And
mm-hmm,
trauma is one of
mm-hmm,
those words that gets tossed around a lot,
mm-hmm,
particularly if you live in a place like Southern California, or Austin for that matter. I historically have had somewhat of an allergy of sorts to different buzzwords like that.
mm,
Doing the work,
mm,
trauma,
mm.
reparenting,
Yeah.
inner child,
Mm,
and then you get
mm.
involved, and you're like, oh my god, this is it. This is actually a thing. I didn't know. I had
You're
no
like,
idea.
holy shit, why am I crying right now?
Having very clear visuals, like psychedelic level visuals, not psychedelic like sacred geometry spiraling out, lizards crawling up my chest or anything, but psychedelic in the sense of just very vivid visuals of almost more clear than psychedelics, I would say, of myself as a baby and
Mm,
feeling like lonely, feeling alone, and feeling afraid to love and
mm,
afraid to open myself up to love because I don't trust love because I'm afraid that I will be hurt. Like one of the visuals I've had is my parents in kind of like a statuesque type form,
mhm,
almost like two chess pieces, like a king and queen,
mhm.
and looking away from me, but like wanting to look back, but
Mm.
not knowing how or not,
Wow. Yeah, they didn't have the tools.
they didn't have the tools. And
Yeah.
so they were and are still in a lot of ways, um, maybe lack resources or perhaps afraid in some way or just calloused over in some aspects of like deep authenticity with their own access to intimacy and trusting of love.
Of course.
And then so within that, your parents love you to the max degree that they can,
Yep.
and they're hurt people and they're lovely people and they're beautiful people and they're all of the things, but a part of that, most people also are a little hurt. And that's not everyone. Some people might have completely cleared their baggage of the past and their
No,
ancestry and all
no,
of that.
no.
I
You
don't
know
know, they
that's not
could
true.
it could exist. I'm just not barring that out as an impossibility.
Okay.
Maybe there's some like bodhisattva figures out there that's like, no,
Highly improbable.
I've really unpacked the shit. Like there is no more shit to unpack. I'm clear.
There is nothing left underneath this tree.
Yeah. My feeling is if a person was in that orientation, I don't know that they would hold a body anymore, which gets a little out there.
Oh my God.
Ah!
That's exactly the truth. No, I totally agree. Yes. I mean, through like psychedelics and seeing certain things, like understanding that this is not real and we agree to this. And part of me also has said, like, I wonder if certain things are just inherent with this experience of being a human. And if you didn't buy into these sort of constructs and have these polarity dynamics, I wonder if you'd even be here. Because when you know that it's not real or you don't buy into the game, like, I really, truly wonder if you could hold form.
Yeah, you might not need to. I mean, that's the belief system. Western culture generally has a bit of dis-ease around the concept of death. It's like really sad and it's like devastating and it's a shame and it's a travesty
Mhm.
and it's a question mark and it's a lot of that. I don't think there's not a lot of definition around death as being something that's really beautiful or something
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
really like um at least as beautiful as life, or as birth.
I was going to ask what you thought the percentage of well-being is attributed to if you were to divide up 100% of physical versus emotional, mental. Like how
Yeah.
much of what how would you divide that up?
I don't know that it's tough differentiate a percentage because I think that they are congruent. So you could make the body be fit, like physically fit.
Right.
But sometimes, for example, a person might be really flexible, but they might carry a massive amount of tension somewhere in the body. Right. Or they might be really strong, or like any of the things. They might seem like in really great shape, but oftentimes what that is, I would fall into this category. They're really brilliant at compensating, and they've oftentimes what looks like the cover of Muscle and Fitness, or you might see like The Rock or somebody like that, and you see that, you're like, wow, he's jacked and awesome and better than me, and like nothing could be wrong in his life. Like, look at that. And so I think that it's easy to get, and I don't know The Rock, so he might be in this bodhisattva category, but it's very easy to get confused by just physical largeness or chiseledness or something of the sort.
You just want bigger muscles all the time. It's always more.
Yeah, or for a girl, bigger butt, or a better waist to hip ratio.
Like, give me a smaller ass. I want a smaller ass.
Oh, that's good. Good for you. I love that. Bucking the norms of the day. I would say I fall in the category of like a really good compensator. And so an example of compensation in the physical body would be a person that maybe like they pull their shoulders back, they puff their chest out, and then from the top, if they did like a high school yearbook photo, be like, wow, they look pretty good. Like they've pulled it all back, big chest, big strong shoulders. But physically, posturally, what that will do, if you haven't integrated that through the whole body, is you'll just end up tipping the pelvis forward too much and go into hyperlordosis, and you might have your feet end up going a little externally and into pronation, and you just don't see it in the yearbook photo. So you don't see the part that people are looking right at. And so a lot of us are focusing on what do people see and what do I see in a mirror. And that's fine. And it will burble up, and it will manifest itself as something. I just had Gabor Mate on my podcast just like a week ago, or that episode just came out. And he goes really deep into the relationship of like anger towards one's self, or anger in general, swallowing one's anger as opposed to being able to like process and release, and that potentially manifesting itself into something where the body begins to like attack itself, or like if there's maybe some kernel of self-hatred, things of the sort. The whole field is called psychoneuroendocrinology. People are interested in going deeper into any of that stuff. Peter Levine is a great resource. Awaken the Tiger Within. Bessel van der Kolk is really good as well. The Body Keeps the Score. Yeah, all those are really great resources. I have like more of a footing in is, I think, the way that expresses itself in an orthopedic way, and then also just in body language. So if a person really feels calm, they feel safe, they feel supported, they feel loved, they feel fulfilled, they feel like, like this moment, like I like this. You'll notice probably they're not going to front and puff their chest out in like a prideful way. They'll just allow their shoulders to relax. You'll notice the tone of their voice will probably start to be a little bit more, a little lower, a little slower, a little like, you'll notice their breathing patterns will be more geared towards a long, relaxing exhalation. It's really easy for them to, so, and there, you'll notice their vision might be less myopically focused, less like a shark, get stuff done, predator prey type relationship. And your eyes,
sorry, let me look away.
Yeah, right, exactly. And your eyes are continuous with your central nervous system and their neurological tissue. That's like, it is your brain. And so all of these, our senses are all interrelated with our thoughts, feelings, and physiological expression. And so we have bought the idea that, you're Danica Patrick, I'm Aaron Alexander, I'm this is my profession, this is my personality, this is a car I drive, this is who I am. You're also an animal. You're also, like this like mammalian, reptilian, old million-year-old creature, or multi-million-year-old
that's a conspiracy. I'm not a reptilian. No.
Yeah, whatever. You're also maybe spirit, right? You're also maybe a mother, maybe a father, maybe maybe a son, maybe you're also hurt. You're so many things.
Yeah.
But we, for ease and convenience, we kind of put ourselves into a package for easier processing. But you can just, when you start to look at the body language of a person, I think you see a lot of honesty come out, and it's less story and more just, here you are. Like, your jaw is chronically tense. Your muscles around your neck are clamped down all the time. Your diaphragm is chronically contracted. You're not able to take a full exhalation. Like, you're blocked from exhaling. Exhalation is tied into the parasympathetic nervous system. So perhaps you don't feel safe to exhale. Where did you learn that? Maybe it was something you learned before you even had words, or not. Maybe it's something you learned when you were 15. Maybe it's so it becomes, the emotional aspect of the self. It just is congruent with the physical expression.
So can you separate those in a sense? Like, obviously you're probably not taught like, oh, your exhale is your parasympathetic, and this is how there's more thought, more narrative around breath work these days. But are you saying that you can come at it from the other perspective? Meaning, I feel like it's probably an adaptive sort of thing when you're tense because for some reason you needed to be. You were programmed that way. Something happened in childhood where your environment conditioned you to adapt that way. So can you then now come at it from the other perspective of going like, okay, this is how you get out of being in sympathetic mode to drop into parasympathetic with these modalities that shift your pattern.
Yeah. It's not probably adaptive. It is adaptive.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, it's so cool. Like, the body is so smart, and the body is so honest.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we don't really listen to it collectively.
If you like this clip and you want to hear the whole episode, click at the bottom of your screen.